Right, hello everybody and welcome to Matt Fryer Golf. So in 2016 I released a video where I asked you guys what you wanted to see from the channel going forward. So today this video I'm going to talk through some of the ideas that you guys put to me and some of my own ideas, and I'm also going to do a question and answers section as well. I was meant to be out filming today, so I posted on Twitter some question and answers that I'll be doing a question and answers section for you. So today we're going to be running through those also. So firstly, I'm going to run through the ideas that you guys had for the channel going forwards. 2016 was a good year for me. Got back into YouTube really towards the back end of it, sort of August time, September. I started uploading again. I'd had about a 6-month gap off to really get my teaching business up and running properly, and now that that's doing really well and doesn't take as much as my time up sort of recruiting new business and everything, and it's running itself, I've got a lot more time to do YouTube. So it's been going really well for me over the last couple of weeks, playing with this guy here in the background, Pete Finch. I've seen my channel grow from just under 2,500 to, as I'm recording this video today, on about 3,750 subscribers, so a massive jump there. So hello to you all who've come over to the channel, thanks for subscribing, and also everyone who's been with me since I've started, really a big thank you for sticking with me, and I promise it's going to be a better year. One of the big ideas that you guys had was taking an amateur, me giving them lessons, and then seeing how they go, sort of documenting how their progress happens, you know, the tip videos that I put out, you know, using my teaching methods and my techniques and my beliefs to help a certain individual from a handicap get down to whatever it may be. So this is one idea that I want to do. So I'll be running a competition where, as a subscriber, you'll have to be a subscriber, you will get some free lessons off me. We'll document your progress and see how it goes. There'll be some terms and conditions, like you're going to have to be willing to travel to come and see me wherever I'm teaching. Like I say, you'll have to be a subscriber of the channel. You'll have to be okay with being on YouTube, you know, not too scared of it. It is quite a daunting process sometimes being on camera for the first time, so you're going to have to be willing to do that. But as soon as I figure out how I'm going to do this, guys, the competition will come out, I'll put a video out for it, and we'll get one of you on YouTube and see how we can improve your season and take it from there, really. So that's one of the main ideas, one of the sort of projects that I'll have going forward into 2017. The other one, which is more for, you know, my personal benefit and for me really, I've not played a lot in 2016 or over the last couple of years with personal stuff outside of work and working a lot. I didn't really get that much chance to play much competition golf and do much practices, where before I was a teaching pro I used to play and practice all the time, and it's something that I do miss and I want to do more of. So one of the ideas that I'd said in the video was I wanted to do something like the Quest for the Open. I don't want to take anything away from those boys or steal their idea, but I want to win my first PGA event. So that is also going to be one of my projects. So you'll be seeing how I go about that, you know, how I'm going to take some lessons. I've actually had one lesson already on New Year's Eve with my dad. I'm going to stick with him as my coach and go and have regular lessons with him. I'm going to try and get one every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, so I can really ingrain my new swing feelings and get consistent and back to where I want my golf to be. Also going to try and get to see a fitness coach. I did work with James Thompson before Christmas. He's absolutely great, works with some of the European Tour lads and does great stuff. And one of the other things that we'll be doing together, we'll be making some fitness videos for you guys. So you may only have 5 minutes to do it, you know, warming up before your game of golf. These videos that we'll be doing will be like specific stretches to get your golf muscles ready to play if you've not got a lot of time. So you'll benefit from it when you're out on the golf course. You'll be able to, you know, be in a better shape without really doing too much, instead of having to put like hours of work in the gym. So we'll be seeing him more as well to try and get, you know, back into shape, more golf specific shape, really use the muscles I need to for that. other bits, you know, with short game and things, I want to improve my short game. My whole game's got to improve really. It's to the point where some of the vlogs that I've played in, I've dreaded putting them out really, because I played okay. I'm fortunate enough that when I do play badly, it's not horrific, but from my own standards, I want to play better. You know, I want to play the best I can every time I play. I know it's not reasonable. We're not always going to do that, but I want to definitely be playing much better and more consistent golf this year. So that is one of my big projects, and I'm really excited about that one, to be fair. I hope it can come off. We'll be doing a lot more tip videos, doing loads of those. There's a lot more vlog videos in the pipeline as well. Some really interesting stuff. There is a lot of talk between a few of us at the moment about an exciting project, and I don't know when we'll actually get it done or how it's going to be done, but it's going to be awesome. We're just in the early stages of talking about it at the moment, and if it does come off, it will be mega viewing for you guys, and something that hopefully you can all get involved in as well. So I will bring you more on that when I know, and I'm allowed to really. So yeah, basically going forward, we're going to have the amateur project. We're going to take one amateur from a certain handicap and we're going to get them down. One of you subscribers, we're going to get you on the channel, get you playing better golf, more consistent golf, and we're going to get you down and document that. Number 2 idea, my winning of a PGA event. So I think I'm going to call the project My First Win, hashtag My First Win. So you'll see more stuff on that, and yeah, and then just as normal, more vlogs and tips. So let me know if you think that's a good idea, guys, if you're happy with those ideas, if you think it could be anything slightly different. But yeah, that's where I see the channel going, and hopefully you'll be enjoying it with me along the ride. So it's, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Secondly, we did a question and answers session with you subscribers. Now, I have noticed a lot more interaction of late. Like I said earlier, a lot more subscribers have come to the channel, and I can't thank you enough for that. It's awesome actually seeing your subscriber numbers go up. It's great, and seeing that, you know, a lot more of you are interacting. You get a real buzz from it, and it's great to talk to you guys and get your opinions of everything and what you're thinking of the channel. So the actual questions and answers section was on chipping and practice. You know, what do you want to know really? So I've picked 5 questions out, and we're going to fire through those and see what we get. Maybe I can help you, maybe not, maybe you have the answers, but who knows. So the first, and I'm really sorry if I don't pronounce this right, the first question is from Arald Kajolson. He says, Matt, what swing thoughts do you have during practice? Different thoughts with different clubs? Thanks, Matt. Yeah, definitely. So when I'm working in on a new feeling, like I have been doing with my dad at the moment, the feeling that I'm trying to get with my irons is totally different. Well, not totally different, but it is different to the driver, obviously, because of the angle of attack is going to be slightly different with an iron to a driver. So yeah, there is some difference, and I would suggest definitely having some lessons and making sure you're getting the right ideas to practice on. A lot of people who come to me for lessons at the start generally have just ingrained faults into the game because they've had a lesson maybe 5-6 years ago, haven't really a clue what's going on in the golf swing, and they find something that might work but it just embeds into their swing, and don't really, you know, understand the ramifications of what they're doing with those swing changes. So yeah, it will be different 100%, and getting the right feeling for you, and actually getting a feeling that you understand and you can relate to is a big thing. In the lesson I've just had, we had to go through about 3 or 4 different methods of trying to get the feeling into how I understood it really, of what I was trying to do at impact, and one way wasn't working, I couldn't quite get my head round it. Another way was okay, but it didn't feel great as I did it, and then just explained in a different manner gave me a totally different sensation and feel, and you know, now I'm really confident with how it is feeling. So yeah, definitely when you are practicing, I would imagine your driver to your irons are going to be different swing thoughts. Sorry if I got your name wrong as well. Next one. Jutta Jordans. Do you warm up before a practice session? If so, how? I'll give you an honest answer. I'm guilty of not doing it, and you could tell when I had my screening with James that I was probably the most unflexible man on the planet. So yeah, I am actually doing it now. I have a set of stretches that I do. Basically, they take about 3 minutes to do before I actually start to hit balls and stuff now, just to prevent injury as well. I'm not getting any younger, and I definitely did suffer with a bit of a bad back because of my old technique and then not hitting loads of balls and never really warming up from it. So keep peeled for some stretches coming. I'm not going to start doing them now. I'll just look like an idiot. But yeah, I do a set of stretches. You know, as long as you're feeling loose and limber. I wouldn't. The one big thing I do see at the driving range a lot, which is just insane, really, the amount of people who come to the driving range. They've got 50 balls. They put them into the machine or they put them down on the mat, and the first thing they pull out is the driver and just start trying to slog it. What is that? What are they doing? You're just going to put your back out. Your muscles aren't even ready, and you're just trying to hit them and make the fastest swing you can straight out of the box. Big no-go. Big no-go. One thing I would say, Jutta, if you are doing it, I would warm up with some smaller shots. If you don't do any stretches, and build your way up into your longer irons. I wouldn't just go straight into a full shot. You're gonna hurt yourself, really. So small shots to longer shots, full out shots definitely would be the way I'd do it. And also keep your eye out for those fitness videos. They will be coming in the next month or so. Thank you. Malcolm A. What chipping drills do you recommend for, say, a 1 hour range session? It's quite precise, 1 hour. I don't tend to do a lot of chipping at the range. If I were, I'd probably do some pitching at the range. Just obviously with the range, there's no green there at a lot of them, and they're only small shots. I would say when practicing your chipping and your short game, or your chipping and your pitching, I'd look to maybe play games, so you get, you're scoring. It's getting the feel of being out on the course and actually being a bit more relative of the pressures you will feel out on the golf course, and will give you some feedback that way. I definitely used to, when I was practicing full time at the range, and through winter a lot really, I'd have set targets that I'd try to say, like the 50-yard target sign. I'd give myself 10 balls, see how close I could get to hitting it, or how many I could hit it. Or a lot of ranges have baskets and stuff like that, so I think doing that would be a good way, and differing your shots. One big thing as well, with shorter shots, controlling the flight. A lot of people don't really work on that. The actual height, if you can't control the height your shot takes off at and the flight that it's going to go on, you're going to never really be able to control the distance. So one thing I used to do was work on that quite a lot. I'd have, on the range where I used to practice all the time, there was rugby posts at they were about 70 yards out, so I'd try and run a 7-iron through the bottom of them, and then flight one just over it, or try and hit wedges over it and under it, and pitching, and just being able to control your ball a bit better, really. That's generally what I would try and do when I was at the range. I'd just try and get some variance in there. You're never really going to play the same shot twice on the golf course, are you? But if you can get not robotic, but a little bit more consistent in your distance, definitely, you're going to be a lot better off. So I try and measure all that all the time, and then try and work on the flight. And then when you get to the short game area, if you've got one, or you're chipping and putting green at the golf club, playing games like par 18, where you chip and then put in. So you play 9 holes, each one's a par 2, depending on how good of a level of short game you've got. You can make it a par 27 if you wanted to, but ideally we'd be getting up and down, hence the par 18. And play games like that, that are relative to scoring, so you're always testing yourself. And also, definitely, when you're doing things like that, get a little notebook and keep a note of your scores so you can always see how you're getting on, and then you can try and better yourself. If you're not doing it, you won't really have much pressure on it, you'll just be playing willy-nilly. So that's a big help. I always try and note mine down so I know, and it shows up as well if you're doing it with different clubs, an 8-iron, pitching wedge, lob wedge, and your score starts slipping with one, you can obviously identify where your areas of weakness are and what you need to work on. So that's a big thing. If you can get a notepad and keep a track of how you're actually getting on when you're playing these games, it's going to highlight your weaknesses and strengths, which will really help you improve. Hope that wasn't too detailed or boring for you, but yes, do that. I will be doing some short game videos actually this week, hopefully. They should come out starting this week. I'm going to be giving you the actual technique, and then I'm going to give you a game as well to go through them, so like a chip and run, and then a chip and run game, a pitching game and a pitching game, and so on and so forth. So keep an eye out for those. Thank you for your question, Malk. Breathe. Next question. Keith Jones. Do your chipping / pitching thoughts change during the winter conditions, i.e. flight rollout and club selection? Yeah, definitely. Depending on where you're watching this video, if you are in the UK, we do tend to get very, very wet surfaces over here this time of year, so it does affect how the ball will interact with the ground once it lands. You may not get as much run now, because obviously if it's soft and wet, it's just going to stick to the ground and get no release on the ball. Also, when you're actually making the shot, if you're not quite pinpoint accurate with your strike, you're not going to quite get them. So yeah, I do tend to think about it a lot more. Some of the shots you can fly, you can be almost a little bit more aggressive now that it is winter and the ground's soft. You can throw a lot more shots up in the air. Obviously, if you don't get them right, there is a downside to that, because if you're pitching up and trying to throw it all the way, if you don't get the right flight and you don't get the right distance, you're going to fall short of that, so it will affect that. I think it's a case of just being able to adapt to the conditions, Keith. It's obviously wetter, like we've discussed, obviously over here in England, so you can be a little bit more aggressive with it. Comes with its penalties sometimes if you don't quite strike it. You know, if the strike's not there, you will see a few more duff shots, but definitely can allow for less roll and be a bit more aggressive and throw more shots further towards the pin and allow for less run would be the way I tend to see them. But again, if you can run it where possible, if it is a bit of a drier shot and you can get the ball running quickly and know that it's going to run out, that would be more of the option that I would go for, because obviously that's a bit more predictable. Once the ball's running, we know that gravity will take care of it, and obviously it's easier to control run than it is flight, and then see what's going to happen with the spin. Yeah, so really just allow for less run, I'd say, really, in winter would be my option. Keith, I hope that helps you with that question. Final question comes from Mr. Stephen Woodall. Steve, yeah, I know you. Hi Matt, as it is driving range season, thoughts for effective practice rather than hitting balls? See you at Davenport soon. Yeah, definitely. A lot of people I see when they come to driving ranges, they basically do the worst thing, you know, they just get balls and just fire them out like a machine gun. No real thought or real consequence to what they're actually doing when they're practicing. So when you practice, I think there has to be, sorry about that, there has to be a purpose there when you're practicing. You know, why are we practicing at the end of the day? You'll hear that phrase, practice makes perfect. I don't really agree with that. I think practice makes permanent more than anything. If you're practicing incorrectly and also practicing the wrong things, they're just going to work themselves into your game. So when you go down there, number one, have a reason for going down to practice. Is there something specific that you're working on, or is there something, you know, that you want to change, or is there an element of your game that you're going down there to work on? Be very specific about what you are going there to do. When you're down there, if you are working on swing changes, I'd sort of divide your balls up when you're practicing, instead of just hitting balls thinking, oh, just work on this, or, you know, just hit balls at that one target. If you've got a swing change, you know, if you're having lessons and your coach is giving you a swing change that you should be working on, I'd maybe, you know, start the session off with just some balls to loosen, then maybe set aside 10 balls, 15 balls to try and work on that feeling and work towards that. That would be really, you know, one of the big tips I'd do. And also a lot of practice swings very, very slowly. People that I see with practice swings just swishing through, not really having any need for them when they're doing it. You know, the reason we do have a practice swing is to get a feeling ingrained in our mind of what we're going to do when we're hitting a shot. So definitely at practice time at the range, making some slower practice swings and being aware of, you know, where the club's going and what that club feels like when it's moving in those directions and towards those positions that you're trying to achieve. You know, be aware of what you're feeling there, because what you'll be able to do obviously is identify with those feelings easier. If you're doing it slowly, you'll know what's going on, and then when you try and put them into your full swing at a bit more pace, you know, hopefully you should know and what it feels like, that what you're trying to achieve. That's a big one for me. I even think it was Ben Hogan who said, you know, the amateur would be better off having 100 practice swings rather than hitting 100 balls per day, you know, because sometimes we do just get so focused on where the ball is going. You throw your balls down, fire them out, oh, they didn't go where I wanted. You might actually be making the moves you want but not quite syncing the strike together with those new movements, and then you can get a bit disheartened with them. So yeah, when you're practicing, Steve, definitely try and work on feelings, some slow practice swings, get those involved, and then build that into hitting some fuller shots, you know, maybe 10 shots, and then go back to working on those feelings. And also try and play a few games, like I mentioned about the short game stuff. If you can keep your practice varied and interesting, you're not going to lose interest in it as quickly, and it'll keep it a bit more like what you're doing on the golf course as well. You know, if you were to make a fairway, let's say with your driver, 10 balls, note how many you can get down that fairway. Same with maybe hitting to a green, how many greens you're hitting, so it represents a little bit of what you've got going on the golf course. I hope that helps, mate, and I'll see you at Davenport soon. Guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you've liked it, I hope I've answered some questions for you, and I hope you like those ideas earlier on in the video. Excited about the one for myself, and definitely excited about getting someone on the channel and hopefully helping you get down low and, you know, really helping you achieve some of your goals for the year. If you haven't already, do give the thumbs up a click, give it a like for me if you will. Also do subscribe to the channel. I want to get to 10,000 as soon as I can. I think I looked and thought, oh, 5,000 I'll probably get there in June, but the way it's going, it's hopefully going to be the end of January by the looks of it. Yeah, so big thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Also go and check me out on my social media platforms and interact with me on there. I do get back to you guys and I do enjoy talking to you. Also comment down below, as you can see from my other videos as well. I do get back to you on that. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon with more videos.